Now, Donald Trump is all set to arrive at a federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. in some time from now. He's accused of spreading lies and trying to overturn the 2020 presidential elections. He's also accused of orchestrating riots in the Capitol in an effort to hamper a peaceful transfer of power. Ahead of the hearing, the workers put up barricades outside of the federal courthouse in Washington, D.C. in a few hours. Donald Trump will be processed and then will be taken into custody, and then he's expected to plead not guilty before he would be released again. The 2024 presidential election will decide whether Donald Trump will be in or out of prison. And for Trump, winning the 2024 elections is more than just redemption. Now, analysts in fact say that for Trump, this is about his personal freedom and not just his political future or redemption. Now, Trump's latest indictment, in which he's charged with trying to overturn the 2020 election results, is probably the most serious of all the charges that he is facing. Now, the stakes are deeply personnel for Donald Trump, and the United States is getting up for an election that is unlike any other in its history. But analysts also say that Trump's trial could, of course, run for years.
Look, everybody knows this is a lengthy process. If he wins the 2024 election, he could pardon himself. He could appoint a new attorney general who just drops all the cases. But assuming he does not win the election, this thing could drag on because that's the way that he does business. He delays in all of these court proceedings. I mean, this is someone who has been sued multiple times by his business associates. So, I mean, and he just delays things over and over again.
However, the pressure is not on Trump or his legal team. Under the U.S. judicial system, a person is innocent until proven guilty. So the ball is, of course, in the court of Jack Smith, the special counsel for the United States Department of Justice. The onus is on them to prove beyond doubt that Donald Trump is guilty of promoting false claims, that the election was rigged, and also pressurizing state and federal officials to alter the results. Now, despite the scale of the charges, many Republicans say that they will vote for the grand old party's frontrunner, even if he is in prison.
We're not happy, but we know it's all fake. We know it's all fake. We know it's all made up. We know it's political. So it's what everybody knows.
The Trump's allies and also his legal defense team have argued that the indictment illegally criminalizes Donald Trump's freedom of speech. His supporters say that the charges are fake and this would only help him in the polls.
The good news is Trump's probably going to get another 5 points in the polls today. DeSantis will probably go down 2 or 3 points because that's what usually happens at every indictment. So this is another good day for us because the Democrats think they're actually accomplishing something, not realizing that it's just going to backfire on them.
The Trump is portraying himself as a victim here. He says that he's actually a target of a politicized Justice Department at his rallies. He's framed the charges as not just an attack on him, but his supporters as well. But the legal troubles are barely denting his positioning. His lead over the Republican rivals only continues to grow. And now Trump's political strength is well known. Even former President Barack Obama, while in a private conversation with Joe Biden, reportedly has warned him of Donald Trump's clout. And as per reports citing sources, Obama has promised to do all that he can to help Biden get re-elected again. And Trump supporters also claim that the recent indictments have been timed to distract from news about the Biden family. They further question as to why prosecutors aren't investigating the Biden administration instead of Donald Trump, even as Trump is being indicted and Washington, D.C. is bracing for his arraignment. President Joe Biden was spotted in Delaware. The American president was seen enjoying a bike ride near his family's vacation home.
Oh, he's got different shorts on.
Now, to give us more perspective in terms of how all of this is, of course, playing out, we're being joined in by our correspondent Susan Tehrani, who's joining us live from New York. Susan, this is an important case that is going to captivate the American political audience. Give us a sense of, what is likely to happen when Donald Trump presents himself in the courtroom today.
So this is an arraignment, Mohammed, which is basically the time when the defendant goes to court him and his lawyers, they see what is exactly the charges against this individual. It's also the time when the judge, usually in a normal case, decides whether or not the defendant is released on bond or they have to go to jail. Donald Trump is expected to plead not guilty. But this is, as you mentioned, it's going to be such a lengthy trial. This is just the beginning and one of the pieces of the many puzzles of Donald Trump's political problems. But we have people who are by the courtroom, reporters in Washington, D.C., and they're saying that it's significantly less crowded just a few hours before this arraignment than it was in the previous two times here in New York when Trump was indicted. No protesters, there aren't many crowds, but there's heavy security and, of course, television cameras as well. So we'll have to wait and see, how this unfolds. And as I mentioned before, Trump did have the option to appear virtually, but it seems like he's going to be there in person himself this afternoon at around 4 o'clock.
Absolutely indeed. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us and getting us all those details there.